Hi, everybody. It's CJ Miller. Welcome to my apartment. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's a great place to live. And so, Bossier City has a theater. There's a movie theater downtown that shows art theater. And I go to uh, another theater. I go is a Cinemark Metroplex uh, towards uh, the south end of Shreveport, and yeah, so there's like options for movies, uh, and I'll tell you the benefit. Uh, the theater downtown will be able to see, vintage movies, art theater. That type of thing. They're a little out of the box. We'll catch movies when they're before they get wide release, or movies that maybe will not get wide release. It's kind of like, yeah, it's great. Uh, the Boardwalk Theater is very convenient, and I love it. And but the one in South Shreveport, the Cinemark, uh, well, the Regal is the one in Bossier City, but the one in Cinemark, they have remodeled and they've got recliners and everything like that. It's like, okay, they have to like really, because people can now watch a movie at home uh, on a large flat screen in an inclined position, and you know, uh, and dim the lights and have like every bit of the movie experience that they think that they want to have. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So those seats are pretty comfortable. You know, it would be neat if they reclined just a little further back, and the screen was just a little bit uh, like. Uh, yeah, I was, but you cannot adjust to every single person's position. But it is almost to my optimal. But yeah, I would want to like recline all the way back, like if I, look straight up at the ceiling and have the movie screen be on the ceiling, if I could. Okay, so the movie that I recently have seen, and I have not reviewed it yet, uh, but because I saw it when it like first came out, like the the day it premiered or the day after or something like that. The movie was Ambulance, and it is interesting. Um, I would say it's formulary. It reminds me of the car chase action movies uh, that would happen in the 70s and 80s when I was like a little kid. Uh, like this basically was. Um, okay, so uh, the premise: two two brothers, and it's from a multiracial family, and so the two brothers, but there's that dynamic, where people are making, some of the. It's one of these things where like there's a lot of ambiguity as far as like there are some very clear cut bad guys, and then the bad guys, they've got good qualities, and then there's different levels of bad guys, because there's like the bad guys, and then there's more bad guys and more bad guys. But these guys, these brothers, they're from a crime family, and they got crime connections and everything like that. And the one brother has moved on from all that, but his wife is in need of a medical procedure, uh, an experimental surgery that the insurance will not pay for because it's experimental. They don't really get into what all that it is. I don't recall. It wasn't the main focus. I would have liked to have seen them spend a little bit more time setting that up. You know, um, maybe they could have opened with the prologue that talked a little bit about their. Of course, in flashbacks they reviewed the relationship of the brothers, but I would have liked to have seen some interaction with the father. But the father really is basically not in the movie. I don't recall. I think that, but his presence is there. Like in the way that other people uh, communicate and relate and everything. So these are like middle-aged brothers or whatever. So so anyway, so the guy's got like a wife and a child and everything, and he wants the experimental surgery. So he goes to his brother, who's uh, still in that crime world, you know, for a loan, and instead of giving him the loan, he entices his brother to go with them on this bank robbery that they have supposedly put all this planning and effort into pulling off this heist, and then the brother shows up, and then on the spur of the moment, we're supposed to believe, hey, this is a big job, and your brother's showing up here. As people are loading up their gear to go like pull off this big huge heist is what's going on, and so yeah, so there's some non plausibility to what's going on, uh, but it has to happen this way in order for the story to work. So I feel like maybe if they had kind of a little less. Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not it's not the most intelligent script, but but it was entertaining, and they did explore some dynamics, and it was great and everything. So it's not going to win any awards for writing. Uh, some of the acting is pretty good, but actually, for the most part, it is. You have to be a good actor to pull off this kind of straight up shenanigan, because what happens is they go to this heist. The good brother gets pulled back into this on the spur of the moment, on the fly. Like, it takes him no time at all. He's like, moved on. I'm no longer a criminal. This and this. And just as he was leaving, uh, the wife tells him, "Hey, I hope that's not your brother calling, and because we don't need his help. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like GoFundMe is not like a thing, right? So anyway, but anyway, what happened was, what happened was they went to the bank, they pulled it off, and the stupidest thing, uh, they're 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 inside the bank, shut down for some sort of money changing thing or something like that, which banks don't just shut down in the middle of the day. Uh, for something like that. But apparently the door's all locked and everything like that. But these two rookie cops uh, go back to the door because one's got a crush on the teller, and he kind of sort of knocks on the door, and uh, so one of the brothers, the Jake Gyllenhaal character, goes and opens the door, and there's a cop, and he's like, "Hey, could I just come in and blah 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 real quick and get?" And it's like, "No, we're changing out the safe, and the door's But all of a sudden, we're supposed to like believe we're just gonna let everything down and let. So I don't know. I don't know why he decides to let the rookie cop into the bank, but some shit goes down. Things go south. I think it has to do with the fact that uh, the rookie cop outside notices something's amiss within the bank, and reacts in a way that causes the situation to go completely south. Anyway, the two brothers end up. Oh, and then there's a juxtaposition of an ambulance team, and the lady EMT, she saves a little girl's life, and that the new rookie EMT that's working with her is like, "You did it," and she's like, "No, no, no, it's just my job." She's like, "That's my job, you know. I'm not emotionally invested. I'm not really interested in what happens after that, because I basically have to focus on the next part of the job. This is all day long for us, in a big city, saving lives, or whatever." So anyway, I thought she's not like emotionally invested. She's like disconnected from the job and the lives that she affects. So yeah, that begins her catharsis. Well, we know by the end of that, because it's so telegraphed by the end of it, that she's gonna have like an emotional awakening, and you know think more, whatever. I don't know. So anyway, so what happens is this thing happens. The rookie cop, the was inside of the building, and he gets shot because he is you know on one of the parking levels or something as they're leaving the bank or whatever. He gets uh, Gyllenhaal in some sort of hold or something like that, and is on him, and then uh, the brother, the good brother that was supposed to uh, be turning his life around, shoots the cop. Uh, And so I was like, oh my God, you shot a cop, blah, 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 blah. And that was her thing. Don't shoot the cop, whatever. But you shoot a cop. You're like, so anyway, so so there's a cop down, and the ambulance with the driver, with the female that I talked about, who's due for a emotional awakening, shows up, and basically, there's no spoiler to this movie. I'm talking about the movie, but there's no real spoiler to it because it's so you can see every plot as it happens. These are the four characters, because they pull up and they tell the driver of the ambulance that I can say knock him over the head, and they take the female, and they she's in the ambulance, and then there's the two bad guys, the brothers, and they're driving in this high speed chase, and there begins the rest of this high speed chase, and then from that it's just a whole bunch of uh, basically destroying property and basically causing a lot of death to save the life of this one cop because he's a cop. So, these other people that end up dying throughout the course of this movie justify saving the life of a cop that, whatever. I don't know. I will say the end of it. I'm not going to tell you the end of it, but it wasn't anything that I was taking serious. Not too seriously this movie, because it's like it ended with some bullshit. I mean, this was not it's a fun movie. You'd go see this movie Ambulance if you want to have some fun, if you want to relive being like a kid playing cops and robbers. You know what I mean? Because that's what this was. This was just a high speed chase. It's a great, uh, uh, with the great big movie budget. It's cops and robbers with a great big movie budget. It was a fun movie. Um, don't go there looking for. I mean, there's some touching moments. There's some touching moments between the brothers. There's some touching moments. Uh, but, I mean, but it's not a drama. It is an action movie, and the emphasis, if you want good old fashioned action movie, uh, I tell you, if the budget was just a little bit lower, it would have been like one of the old Cannon movies from the 1980s. Like Load Up, and it would have been with some high powered artillery, and go down south and like uh, take over some terrorists, and free a hostage kind of thing. Some Iron Eagle bullshit. But because it was on that level, which was great. It was a feel good movie, but it was a feel good movie, except it's a movie about crime, whatever. But it's I don't know. Uh, you could almost see the writers reaching for something of interest to say, some sort of thing to say with this movie. I really think they shouldn't have tried too hard. I think they should have just went with it and just had fun with it, because ultimately that's what happens. You know, there's one scene where, like, uh, the characters there's a character, and he's like taunting the two brothers. He says something about, hey, your pretend family, or your pretend dad, or something like that. And then the other brother, throughout the course of what happens next, so he's not my pretend brother, he's my real brother. So that, I mean, the bond is cool. I mean, it really does talk about the one thing, how family uh, uh, is, yes, blood is tight, but it's more than blood. Family is a heartfelt feeling, and everything like that. But those moments are few in this movie, Ambulance. But you'll like it. You'll like it. Uh, I don't know what it was rated. I didn't pay that much attention. Uh, but I mean, I would see it if I were a teen. You know, something like that. I maybe wouldn't have the younger uh, people see it. I mean, the younger kids or whatever. But yeah, whatever. You want a good old fashioned action, car chase flick. Uh, ambulance. Ambulance. It's a funny sounding word. That is the movie you should go see. And I really almost think they could have come up with a whole nother title for it. Like there's so much. It's it's a reductive title. Just the fact that it's an ambulance. You know, the movie that it most reminds me of, except it was a different scenario, was the uh, Eastwood Lock venture, uh, The Gauntlet, where they had to like go through the city and they had to like make their way. It was one of those things, except there was no like she was a witness that Eastwood had to get to the thing, and so they had to drive through all this gauntlet of bullshit. And then there was I don't know. Uh, I don't even think they that like these guys as they're trying to, I don't think they have like things have just gone south for them. What should have went great has just gone south, and they have no um, real plan. Do you know what I mean? They're just like, what are they gonna do? Go home after if they get away from the police? What are they gonna? They're just no. I don't know. I mean, it's you know. So anyway. Uh, it's a fun, interesting movie. Go check it out. I think my 15 minute limit on my little videos, I think I'm going to have to extend that maybe to 20. I think I'm getting uh, more interested in the things that I'm saying. Uh, do come see us in Shreveport, Bossier. If you're outside of the city, we love people. We love visitors and stuff like that. So come see what we have to offer. Um, I had a birthday, as a matter of fact, and they took me to this wonderful bistro. It's called Abby Singer's Bistro, and it is right above and uh, part of the Robinson Film Center, but it's a bistro above that, and it's actually my favorite place in town. So my people took me. Now you don't want to go there with a large party. Uh, you want to go there maybe, you know. Yeah, because they've only got like one or two large tables, but we were able to get there were about seven of us, and we were able to get seats out on the outside balcony, and it was a lovely night, and it worked out. But parties above four, uh, you maybe don't want to. You want to plan ahead if there's anything. Uh, going on, any sort of special seating that you want or anything like that. Most of the seating are two tops. There's a couple of four tops, but uh, mostly it's yeah, it's mostly two tops. Um, and you just want to kind of give them a heads up. But the food is great. I love it. It's one of my favorite dining experiences, and I feel very fortunate that in my neighborhood of downtown Shreveport that we have such a lovely place. We have other restaurants too that I'll talk about later on in other little things. Um, but Shreveport Bossier, and I love my hometown. So okay, bye.